Okay, let's go live. James Middig speaking. Welcome to trainingsites.io. We're doing another open classroom every Wednesday at 1 o'clock, and I'm here to help you out. Answer any questions that you may have about starting, building, and growing your education business. And I'm talking specifically about creating online courses, membership sites, building communities, anything again in and around that education space, earning some money online, trying to share exactly what it is that you've already experienced, things that you know and do on a regular basis that you just want to either teach to people or share with people. And in my case, hopefully to earn some extra income. If it's a side hustle or a main business like me, either one is fine. And all of the things that are in and around that should work for you. So I just want to make sure we're all streaming here. Everything's fine, because I got this little message that said refresh or try again. So I'm going to do a refresh here and see if we've got a live feed, because I want to make sure that everything's working properly, and we go from there. So again, if there are any questions, all you need to do is ask them in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them. I think I have the chat set up this week so that I can actually bring it in if there is a chat, and if there isn't, I'll just talk for a while and we'll go from there. So what do we got this week? I'll tell you a little bit. If you've been watching any of these videos, what happens in all of the stuff that I do is it works off the campus map that I have, those 10 steps. And there's a lot of moving pieces in there. And what I try and do is pick some of the pieces, hopefully in a bit of a sequence that makes sense to learn about, or that are questions that you're asking on a regular basis that I can answer. But the other thing that happens, and again, this is something that I've been struggling more and more with personally over the last little while, is keeping everything organized, the things that I come up with ideas, and being able to keep them organized or in some kind of system where there's a workflow, or at least a way to keep track of all of the pieces that kind of go into place. And I've been following, there's some other YouTubers that I follow. There's one, and I can't remember her last name. I'll see if I can come up here with it just while we're talking. I don't want to open it on that screen for the sound, but I believe her first name is Layla, and she talks, I wish I could find it. I'm subscribed to her channel. Just look in the background, see if I can find it in the background. But this person, she teaches all stuff about standard operating procedures, or SOPs. And my kind of gist on SOPs is they can get down deep into the weeds. And then on some other cases, they can be I'll think of the word in a second to explain it, but they're just so simple that they don't really give you enough of a framework to actually do anything consistently. So I think it's really hard to kind of organize that and keep it up to date in a way that makes sense, that you have a track to follow or some kind of system in place that allows you to do the same thing over and over again, and more importantly, be able to have the same kind of output at the end of it. I'm just scrolling down as well on the bottom here to see if I can find her name. I think I have like 100 and some subscriptions. There are people that I follow, and I'll put the link below actually if I can't find it while we're chatting here. And that's the other thing is, for me, stuff that's happening in the background is 2025. And the whole year has taught me a lot, because I've been doing lots of these YouTube videos, but more importantly, the way that not only the market is changing in the content creator space and online course space, but for me personally on the things that I want to do, that I want to get accomplished, the way I want to do things. So I talked I have all these videos. By the way, there's 318 or 320 here. I have a whole bunch of them that cover all sorts of these topics. They're all available and organized with additional resources at trainingsites.io. So you can actually go and see them and get some additional content there if you want. And I'll just show you the page quickly here where they are so that you can see them. Just so you can go and actually take a look at those particular pieces. And again, Training Sites is free to join. There's no cost to joining it, and it's trainingsites.io. And on the page here across the top, you'll see the tutorials menu right at the top. These are all of the tutorials that are available, and these are all the ones from YouTube. But of course, what I've done is I've included a whole bunch of additional resources that are here that are not available on YouTube. So for example, any of the downloads, summary, keywords, takeaways, action items, all of the links and stuff are here for you for each of these videos. And these are free for you. So just visit trainingsites.io and become a free member, and that will get you started. And of course, this trainingsites.io, this whole new space that is being set up, is really about the shift in 2025 for building communities, selling online courses that I'm all in on. And not only is my gut, from what I've seen from the other subscribers that I follow, other people in this space, this is where things are going. So I'm doing my best to position all of the things that I'm doing to fit into that. And there's a whole bunch of videos that I've been doing in the background that are all about that. And here's kind of the big picture of it. I think that this whole idea of traditional sales funnel is no longer working the way it originally worked when it was about a sales process, which still has some validity when you're in a face-to-face conversation. When you're actually selling a product or a service in a face-to-face or business-to-business situation, I think there's still a lot of value in the sales funnel there. But when it comes to selling information products and the amount of information that's available on YouTube now, that whole kind of setup I don't think is valid anymore for content creators. And the big part, or the big reason for that, is for all intents and purposes, content is free. All of the course stuff that you have is free information. You've only curated it and organized it. But that kind of stuff is free. And when what you traditionally sold is free, the sales process doesn't necessarily work. So I think it's switching, and this is the way that I see things going. And just consider it. Be open to it and think about, if it is true, does my business model fit into that? And if it's not true, how can I protect myself in case it is true? So here's what's happening. My kind of view at this is that the big shift now is really from building an audience on YouTube. Used to be Google search, organic traffic, things that you got, traditionally to get traffic. But I think the YouTube is the foundation of everyone's business, and the information, content creators, course creators, anything to do with information, selling it, and the things in and around information, whether it be templates or ebooks or any of those particular pieces. That audience building portion on YouTube is the work that we have to do as marketing. So think of that as the base of your pyramid, or the basement in Canada of your foundation or your home. I had to have a little laugh this morning because today was the first day that we actually had like 2 inches of snow here in Canada. So I got my lumberjack kind of shirt out, and I thought I'd wear my first winter shirt of the season. There'll probably be more for a couple months here as I'm recording this. But in Canada, we have foundations, we have basements, actual basements in our homes. I know in a lot of places in the States, there's like a pad, there's no basement. In the southern states, for example, or in places in Europe, they don't have basements. But for us, the basement is the foundation of our home. So if you have a pyramid, you have like a foundation that the pyramid is built up on. And that audience is now the foundation of your business. So any of the marketing that you do for new customers, new clients, new members is about how can I build the most sturdy or the biggest audience as possible to support the ways that I earn money in my business. So think of the audience as the foundation. And what I did the research. I'll show it to you. Let me step back for 1 second because this is kind of interesting. So here's the Here's the thing I'm kind of thinking of is this whole notion of subscribers. I think I've done a really bad job of kind of pushing for subscribers, but it's really cool to have a lot of subscribers right on your YouTube channel. To be able to say, yeah, I got a zillion subscribers and I'm monetized on YouTube. I get some, some AdSense income, for example, or I can promote some stuff on my YouTube channel. I think subscribers is not what we want to be looking for moving forward. What we want to be doing is looking for worthwhiles. And when you have an audience, that audience are the people that say, my time is worthwhile being spent on the content that you're creating on YouTube. So you have to ask yourself, is it something I want to spend 10 minutes on? Am I getting any value from it? Is it worth my while to spend my capital, my time watching your content? And there's some cool things that happen when you have an audience as opposed to subscribers that may never visit to you. All the subscribers is someone that said, remind me if something comes out from this person again. It's not someone who's invested in your story and your message. It's someone that's just raised their hand and said, yeah, okay, that was a cool video. Doesn't mean they're going to go back and watch all the other ones. But if you have an audience, like a TV audience, that's something they do on a regular basis. They watch your show, they look forward to the next show. So that base audience on YouTube isn't about the subscriber number, but it's knowing that you have some regular viewers. And I think the goal for us as content creators and course creators now is to build the audience on YouTube. And what I'm doing is I'm saying, anyone who's interested in this material and wants more of it with some additional value, come and join and be a free member at trainingsites.io. So just go to the site and there's a place to register right on the front page. If you go to the members page, you'll have a chance. It's free to join, and all you're going to do is become, from the audience, you're going to be a member of the community and get some bonuses for it. So what are you spending as the user or the the viewer there? You're saying, yes, I'm going to give you my email address, and I'm paying for access to the community, the additional resources you have with my email address. And I think that step from audience to member is kind of that big part of the marketing. And think of the membership as the first floor, right? The first floor doesn't cost anything for the member. It's like they're in checking stuff out. They've got a place or a space to be that's comfortable, but they don't have access to you as the community leader or the membership light leader or your time answering their specific questions. Now, I get a couple prompts here kind of thing where, people, again, if you have questions, put them in the chat, specific questions, I'll make sure to do that. But that place from membership is allowing you to get more information and ask some questions, but it doesn't give you access to more specific personal answers to personal situations. And I think personally, that's where the value is now, if you want to teach online or share what you're doing, is your ability to have someone raise their hand as an audience member and a member and say, hey, I need a little extra help. I need a little extra help. And the reason this is important when you look at the sales process is it's not about the traditional face-to-face sales process where I talk about. The reason you want to do the audience and the membership is because it's getting people to know, like, and trust you and be able to say, it's worth my while learning more from this person. And that's all that base or foundation is. Everything is coming from that kind of space. So having YouTube and a community / member site / training site, whatever you want to call it or name it, and I've done a couple videos kind of explaining the difference, but I'm going to use them or lump them all in here because the process is the same. Build your audience on YouTube, get them to be a free member on your community, your training site, your member site, and then you're going to be or have the opportunity when they know, like, and trust you in that decision scale, if they're going to spend a little bit of extra money for some of the services or the blended learning that you provide for them by making yourself available to answer questions that you may have put in a course or that you may have done in a webinar, or you may have done in a live stream like this. So that's where I think things are going. And if that's the case, you know, what happens here when we're building out courses, when we're marketing our content, when we're creating content? It fundamentally shifts your business. And that's where I'm going personally. That's what we're doing here. If you want to go on that journey with me, I'd love to talk to you and answer questions that you have, and more importantly, get some feedback as to what you need or want to know personally in your situation. So if there is any questions, make sure to answer them below. I think one of the things I will do today, if there are no questions, I'm going to talk about one kind of cool thing when it comes to content creation and building out content. Because one of the questions I do get frequently is, you know, how do I come up with ideas for courses? Or which course should I create? Or which are the important ones that you know, I should spend my time on? Or even if I do have one, I really don't know how to get it kind of started, or you know, really get my head around putting it together. Now I have, let me just see if I can open up my campus map here. We'll open up this one here. And again, if you haven't, just put this one here just while I open the other one so you can see it. But if you haven't seen any of my materials before, I'm an absolutely huge fan of mind maps. Everything I do starts in a mind map, whether it's a YouTube video, organizing it, whether it's putting together scripts, routines, processes. I try and use mind maps. And I was talking about being overwhelmed with all of the stuff at the start, creating all of this community content, organizing it. And, you know, one of the things is, you know, trying to make sure you get some kind of system or standard operating process to do that. So this is one that I was kind of playing around with, or, you know, thinking about what I'm doing internally to do that. And right now, it's like for every day, every morning, there's 200 subscriptions that I have to YouTube videos or other people. So there's usually anywhere from 15 to 50 videos that come out on a day that I watch some of them, or I have the opportunity to watch. And if you look at that, you may watch some of them and go, man, there's so many great ideas that apply to what I'm trying to teach, or the way I'm trying to teach it, or the way that I'm creating courses, or the way that I'm marketing them, or the way that my community's set up. And then what normally happens is you try and save links, or you bookmark something. It's just really, really hard to keep track of it. So that morning routine of collecting that information and being able to curate it for being applied in your situation, that's the one where you have to use Notion or mind maps. Or, and I use Notion, if you're not familiar with it, I'm not an expert in it. I have a free account. I don't generally use it because I use another piece of software. But Notion is just a way to intelligently archive and organize the information in your business, whether it be a standard operating procedure or other people's content that you come across that makes sense. I actually use Fluent Boards, which is part of the Fluent suite of software, which is what we run trainingsites.io on, which is a project management app that's built right into WordPress. And that's actually the tool that we use. And I'll just show you one since it's here. And again, if there are questions, make sure to ask them. I'm just going on here. These are totally ad hoc, unscripted ones, so I do my best to cover what I can. But, you know, for example, here's the Fluent Boards that I have. And this one is just on videos. So there's 89 video ideas here, and then I've got 5 that are in the actual titles and topics. I got scheduled ones here, in production ones, a whole bunch of different ones going on. But that's the way that I manage stuff, is every day when I do my little thing, I come in and put some video ideas that get put together, and thinking, is this something I can use, or can I combine it with another idea to create content for YouTube and for the Training Sites course. So those, that way to keep track of it, those standard operating procedures from the map, is really, really powerful. And I'm telling you this one because I ran into one today that I went, wow, that's kind of cool. I get that. Now, how can I use that? And this is this is one that I'll open up here. This is the 4 kind of tools that I use when I'm putting together any of the stuff that I'm archiving or creating courses is really about putting it together. And I'm going to open this one up here. I ran into taking something from someone else and being able to repurpose it with AI by curating it or combining it with other bits of information plus your experience. That's the way that I think that you should be able to use AI tools. I don't recommend at all just asking AI to create content for you. What I believe is important is taking your experiences, the content that you've created, and combining them to turn into something that is usable for you to help people help provide the transformation that you're promising to people. So I went over on one of my my big map, my campus map. Again, I'll try and build that one again. You can see how I get kind of wrapped up in all of this stuff because it's kind of cool and I have fun with it. But these ones, let me do if I'm going to see if I can find the one that I have here. There's some of the maps that I have. So I'm just opening one here. So this is the map that I have, my main campus blueprint map. That's the important one here. And discover ideas for your perfect topic. You know, what are the goals and the purpose and creating the profitable product? These pieces in red, the important ones, those are the ones I've been talking about this week. So one of the kind of pieces to this is clarifying the goals and the purpose of your business or my business in 2025. And one of the things that really came up in this whole space was making sure that I had the content and I understood what people were buying when they're going through that. So, you know, when you think of it, if I think I've got some of these ones kind of put together here, I'll try and make it a little smaller so you can see it. But it's like, you know, picking your main topic, creating a 1-15-25 map. Now I've done videos on these, and again, the whole course is all about how these apply, but you know, having that topic, that main topic, 15 categories, 25 challenges or questions that you can answer. But that best way to help people going through that journey was one of the real key pieces that I wanted to make sure I understood for the people that are going through, the audience, the membership, the student, or the, you know, raving fan, whatever you want to do, where what happened to them? How do they make a decision that say, yes, it's worth my while to become a member, to purchase a product, to buy coaching, to use services, and that journey that was going through there. So that was one of the pieces that I was looking at, researching. And I have a customer journey that I put together, but the one that I used was a sales one, and it wasn't specific to membership. So I was playing around with this and I was looking around, doing my little research this morning, and I came across one which was someone who was trying to actually sell a standard operating procedure and or a journey where they had mapped out, and they had basically put a course together, and they had the course syllabus that was there. So I said, okay, I have this course syllabus. How can I actually turn it into, how can I turn it into information that I can use in my 10 steps that I'm working on here with my map? How can I use it so it's something valuable to the customers? And you'll also notice on the left-hand side here, I open this one up, you'll see this journey, developing learning paths for maximum impact. That's about organizing the courses in an order that makes sense for people who want to build a membership site or community. This one was more internally for me when I was trying to figure out how or what are the steps in that campus kind of place or journey where people come from the audience, become a member, and then a student that actually pays you for the services and the information that you're teaching. So I was playing around with that, and I went and I said, you know what? I found a really cool one. I better use an AI tool to help me out with that. So what I did, of course, is I went to my handy ChatGPT account, and I'll open that one up for you. So let me see if I can, I think we'll do this one. Hopefully you can see this. If not, again, I have all of this additional material as available for you in trainingsites.io. But what I did is I said, you know what? I copied the syllabus from someone else's course, and they had a syllabus of all of these steps of a journey that someone makes when they're, thinking about purchasing or buying digital products online. And it wasn't really about membership sites or community, but I looked at it and I said, you know what? That's pretty cool. I asked ChatGPT, I said, create a markdown file that I can import into a mind mapping tool. And I just provided the text to it. So what ChatGPT did is it actually took that information and it built me out. And if you don't know what markdown file is, it actually looks like this. And hopefully you'll be able to see this a little better. But basically it just has these number signs here. And the number signs just relate to, like, this is a title, this is a subtitle, this is a body copy, these are bullet points, that kind of thing. So Markdown is just a real simple file type, like a Word document, but it's one that is easily understandable for tools like Xmind or any of the other mind mapping tools that are available. So what I said, create a markdown file. I copied and pasted, I created a markdown file. And what happens is it created the actual markdown file and all of the different pieces that were there. And I asked it to create an actual file that I could import. And what I did is I imported it and I opened it up into Xmind just by doing an import. And I'll open this one up. I think I did the one that, is it under recent? Might be under recents too. Nope, not there. So let me go back to where we were. Just while I'm looking here. There we go. No, I didn't save it. My apologies. So I put it in here. I actually saved it, and I got a map, something similar to this, of course. So when I had that, I was going, okay, that's great. I got a MapMind account. Just seeing if they were in some other places there. They're not. So let's go back to ChatGPT. I said, you know what? I need to create a version of this response that is specifically tailored for a membership or community site. So they had that one that was for whatever they were talking, but I said, you know what? I really like the idea of a journey because I need to understand it for my community or membership site. So how does this apply to you? If you find something that someone else has done in all of that information that you're collecting, don't be afraid to use it as a foundation and condense it or curate it using AI tools. I'm all for that. Again, I didn't go to ChatGPT or Claude or any of the other tools and say, create a syllabus and just go and say, okay, there's my syllabus, create a course on it. I said, hey, here's what someone else has done. How can we repurpose it for my unique situation? And what happened is it gave me another one and it created one out that is one that was specific for members and the journey that people have as they become audience members, students in my particular case. And it gave me all of the questions for growth, the phases, awareness, consideration, onboarding, engagement, advocacy, renewal. And it just talked about some of these and I looked at it and this is where you go say, okay, great, I get that. I don't think that's true, or I don't do it that way. So you play around with it and make it your own on your own experience, put it together. So I had that one, was looking at it, okay, that's not bad. And I said, this map is for people wanting to start their community or training site where they can teach people and sell online courses. So not only was it just about a community, I got a little more specific about the context, right? I've been advocating for the idea of YouTube, using YouTube to build an audience, directing that audience to become a free member, and providing a blended learning community where coaches, workshops, and interaction requires a paid membership. So I added context to the conversation. And if you haven't noticed here, I have a whole bunch of videos on different styles of AI prompting. And one of the ones that obviously I listed at the start was conversational prompting. And if you look at what we've done right here on this page and you take a good look at it, what is the one thing that you do not see? You don't see any prompts other than me talking to ChatGPT. I didn't use a special framework. I didn't use like the ACR framework. I didn't cut and paste a prompt that I used. I just basically started with telling what I wanted and iteratively going and cleaning up by being more specific to the contents and adding my own input with the responses that we're getting. And I was very specific here. I told who I was looking for, okay? And I just said, can you update it with that journey in mind? So it redid it again. And again, it's specific now to the context that I've done. And this is pretty accurate to what I wanted to cover. So we're getting a little bit closer. We're going down. It was great. And I said, okay, so now I know I've got this member journey. I also want to know about the psychology of, hey, what the heck's going on for the people that are taking that journey? It's like, that's the journey they go through. I want to know what is the mental process that they do so I can kind of map them together, right? And make sure that I understand both sides of the coin. So I said, contrast this with the psychology of selling and the mental checklist that new members go through when they're considering becoming part of the audience, joining and engaging as a member, and purchasing expanded personal access. And this was great because it went through the mental checklist that people go through, psychological barriers for each of the particular parts, audience, community, paid engaged member, and then paid member. So I've gone through this now from someone else's syllabus and or idea that they had, and I put it into a way that makes sense in my situation and combining the pieces that I know with the responses that I get to building something out. The other thing was that the language style and pattern you're using is quite technical. I want you to create a version that the layperson would understand with a grade 8 reading level. So I just wanted to make sure, a lot of times when you're using AI tools, it gets a little bit, I don't know if the word is iffy, but it's like, it gets a little too wordy. So I always try and clean it up at the end and try and make it a little more simple as I can. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, if someone's going to be part of your audience, they're going to subscribe to your channel, but be an active audience member. This is the stuff that most people think. Does this person know their stuff? Can I trust them? Is it worth my while to watch? And that's why I think worthwhiles moving forward are going to be more important than subscribers. The question is, does the person actually going to spend time with you because they are invested in what it is that you're teaching? If they're just a subscriber, I will much rather have 1,000 members in my audience that come back on a regular basis and are willing to engage me, as opposed to 100,000 subscribers who have clicked the subscribe button but may not show up and have no real reason to show up other than the fact that they saw one video or maybe two videos that they liked and they watched part of it and went, wow, that's a good video, or hey, that's a good idea. I just want to be notified when he comes up or she comes up with another video. So that's kind of the space that my head is in right now. And if this is making sense to you, of course, come on into trainingsites.io, and I'd love to talk to you further about this, because setting up and using those 10 steps that I were talking about in the map originally, that kind of 10, that big process, the campus blueprint, that whole space is really about having and doing all of these things in the blueprint. It's like discovering what your perfect topic is, making sure that you have goals and the purpose of what it is that you're doing in your training site, your community, is also the thing that aligns with what the people you're trying to help, the challenges they face and the transformation they want, and then creating a business model that goes around and supports it. And this is the part, when you're looking and saying, well, am I actually going to charge for it? You don't necessarily have to charge for it. In fact, the video that I did yesterday was about my pickleball project, which is one for a pickleball community that has nothing to do with selling courses. And in fact, the way it's set up for a business model is by earning ad revenue and sponsor revenue within the community, not charging for access to the community. So, understanding what business model you're going to have for the people that you're going to help and the way that you want to help them and the value of what you're providing, that third step is all about making sure you have some kind of business model that supports it. And that can be things like having what was called a membership model before, or a paid gateway. You pay monthly, whether you're doing something more along the line of training when you're doing courses and more expensive programs, or if you're doing live blended learning where you do Zoom calls with and combined with educational material that's there. So kind of picking these spaces out are all the things that you still have to do when you're building out the audience, members, and students in your business. And the tools are the ones that we're just talking about, is trying to figure out, if you got a business model, how am I going to implement this and put it together? And then building out your site, creating content, the journey that people go through, delivering the transformations that you do and the courses that you do, marketing it and growing it. So these are all kind of pieces that you're going to go through, and it's understanding that journey for yourself and for the people that you're trying to help that ends up building a business for you. Let me just look and see. We got no questions. Yeah, if there are any questions, again, let me know and I'll do my best to answer them. Again, this is one that I'm going to do a couple of videos on actual courses, the ones that I'll do after this when we probably get off. I'm going to do a whole course kind of on this journey and putting it together because I think there's some real value in there, and it's something that I get asked about, is like, how do I know what courses to create, or how does this model kind of work with me? The other thing that is happening in the background is there is another complete. I'll just open up one of the other maps that I have. I'm looking on my screen in the second here, just opening a scene, because these are the courses that we're actually putting in moving forward here. Let me do, did I do that one as a course? Yeah, there we go. Let me open up. I'm going to import one. Let me just show you what happens when you import one. I'd saved one of these maps that I had as a markdown file, so I'm just going to do, let's do a new blank map. I think it works this way, but I can't remember. So I'm going to actually import a markdown file. So I'm in xmind.net, which is free. I'm just going to go to the file menu. I opened a blank map, and I'm just going to do import markdown. And in this case, this is one that I put together from just the bullet points and things that were put together, and it's the workflow steps to create online courses. This is the other course that should be available shortly. You can see December 1st, 2024 is when I was putting this together. So I'm just going to say open, and there we go. So this is the other course that we're working on shortly, that actual workflow or process from start to finish about creating courses and using AI, just like we went through to actually create the different courses. So, taking a piece of that big map and then doing individual courses or mini courses is adding that to the community is kind of the system that I teach. And sharing with people, because this is what I've been doing for the past 20 years. I do have one other question. Again, if you do have them, this is one that kind of comes up on I don't know if it's a regular basis, but it's one that comes up from time to time. And it's for people who are just starting out. And when you're just starting out, you may be looking at that and going, oh, man, there's 10 steps. There's a lot of stuff there. What do I need to do to actually get started? And I don't have ideas for 50 courses or things like that. And this is the cool part, I think, when you're in the education business or a content creator. Is there's some really interesting things that happen when you're creating that audience that you're trying to help out on YouTube as a foundation of it. And if you haven't got a YouTube account now, I highly recommend just go sign one up, get started. You don't need a lot of equipment to do it. There's lots of people talking about, what equipment you need or what equipment you don't need. I do as much as I can with 0 edits. I try not to do any editing whatsoever. I try and do live feeds like this one, and I'll tell you why in a second. But it's just like single take, 0 edits, and capture what you're doing, that digital exhaust, and trying to make sure that you capture it. But the neat thing is when you're building that audience on YouTube, which is the 2nd largest search engine in the world, and I think will be, I would think, I'm guessing pie in the sky here, but I would think that YouTube will probably overtake Google in terms of search volume at some point. And I would think sooner rather than later, actually. That's just my gut telling me. It's just because I know for myself personally, I don't even watch TV anymore. I can't remember the last time I watched TV. I watch Netflix or Prime or Apple TV or the Disney thing for movies and stuff, but the rest of the time I'm on YouTube. And anytime that I want to do something that isn't related to doing something locally, like, what restaurant to go to, that kind of thing, or, where can I, where is this particular thing that you look on Google, or what are the local stores for that? But anytime there's any kind of information that I'm trying to find or a process that I'm trying to find, I go to YouTube and search for it. We just went, as an example, I got a new appliance at home. I got the first time I've had a convection or induction stove. And I don't know if you're familiar with induction stoves, but like you put a pot of water on it and it automatically boils. It doesn't heat up. It uses magnets. Just like when you take your phone and you put it on the charging pad, same idea. You drop it down, it gets charged. Same idea with these stoves. But there's a glass top on it, and I wasn't really sure, how to clean it and what's the best way to clean it. So if you do a Google search, it's like you get 7,000 results, and it's all about, people trying to sell you new stoves. I already have one. I just want to know how to use the top. So if you do a YouTube search on that, you're going to find how to clean the top. You're going to see 10 or 20 videos on how to clean the top, the glass top, how to protect it. I didn't do a Google search for it. I did a YouTube search for it. So answering those questions and challenges in your topic, I think YouTube is a way to build out that audience. And if you can get somewhat competent and comfortable enough to be in front of the camera, that's a really cool space, because you can just get to the point where you're answering questions about the stuff you're an expert on and just talking into the camera and doing it. And the reason that we want to do that on that audience building part is we just want people to know, like, and trust you, be comfortable with you, and in fact, hey, this guy or this girl or this person knows what it is that they're talking about. So get on YouTube, answer questions, share your story, and there's going to be people that go, yeah, I know, like, and trust that person. Yeah, they know what they're talking about. Yeah, sure, I'd love to be a member of their community and get some more questions answered. So get started on YouTube if you haven't already. And, if you're not comfortable in front of the camera, that's cool too. You don't have to be. You don't have to put yourself on camera. You can use screenshots to start off with. You can do live streams and just practice. One of the reasons it's really cool with live streams is that because when you do a live stream, you don't necessarily have to have it as a public live stream. You can do a private live stream. So instead of, putting some video together, figuring it out and going, oh man, I got to edit it. I don't know how to edit. I don't have any editing software. I got to send it to someone. Just do the live stream and mark it as private. Mark it as private and do it. Watch it, listen to yourself, see if you go so, which I do all the time. Try and figure the words that you say, the expressions you use. See if they work, if you're comfortable, if you're not comfortable, but make them private and just practice. Get on YouTube and start doing that. And, if some of them end up where they're okay, let them go, let them rip, open them up and make them public and just see what happens. And you're going to get people who are going to ask questions or not ask questions. You're going to have people that either subscribe, or if you mention, go check out my community, or find out more about my service, or join the newsletter where I send a newsletter every week. As an example, just sharing the story that I have and the stuff that I know. But at least get on there and make sure that you have a solid foundation for your audience that they want to tune in. And the most surprising part of this is that you will find that your audience can be validated very quickly when you have enough audience building content on YouTube that you're getting feedback or no feedback, or the questions that you are getting asked are the ones that you're answering already. You validate the kind of path that you're on without spending a whole bunch of money on all the traditional ways to advertise or get started. So that's kind of a cool benefit of that. But get started on YouTube and start playing around with that. Any more questions? I don't think so. No questions. That's a bummer, but we'll just we'll keep on playing around with that. Well, how long have I been going here? Holy mackerel, 47 minutes. I get started on this stuff, and sometimes I can't believe how how long I end up talking on this. Let me just see if there's one other thing that we can. Yeah, I think I'll do this in the course. I have some other stuff, but I think I'll do it in the course and put it into the training site. And I'll just show you that so that if you haven't seen it yet, you have an idea of what Training Sites is about. And I'll open up the interface so we can actually see it, and you can see what's going on there as well. So if you go to trainingsites.io, I'd love for you to do that. You can like and subscribe to the channel too. I'm not saying don't like and subscribe to the channel, but my goal is to get you to join up and be a free member in the community, and you're going to get access to all of the videos that I've done on YouTube, as well as additional resources and stuff that are available there. But in the community, you're going to see courses, tutorials, classes, spaces, other members, a leaderboard, and the services that we provide. Now you have to remember, my business, trainingsites.io, we have the community and we have a paid level of the community, but we also have a services package which does a lot of the things that I was talking about in the map, does it for you. Because some people just don't have the time to actually do it themselves, or more importantly, they don't want to learn how to do it themselves. So think of it this way. It's like that audience, that free version, that free membership is all about people who are in the do-it-yourself space. They just want to see the course material. You've organized it in a way they want to consume it and do it themselves. So that's kind of that free level. If you are in the free level and you go, yeah, but he talked about doing it this way. I want to do it a little bit differently. I want it to happen that way. I have some questions about how I can implement what it is. That's the done with you way. And that's where we get into the paid Campus Pass part here. It's that whole thing where, hey, I did it, I'm working on it, I'm doing it right now, but I have some options here. Can we talk about which ones to do? Or I have this information, but I haven't gotten started yet. I really should get started. Can you help me get going with this? And that's why we have the live workshops. The first one that's upcoming is next week. We're going to create a course actually in the calendar here. So that's the Zerm Wapshut. Let's build a course together. That's next Monday at noon. And this is when we're actually going to build a course live during the hour and a half that's there. We'll go through all of the steps with the AI tools, come up with a syllabus, and actually the either script and or talking points that you need for the videos. And you're going to do it live with me during the actual class. That one's a done with you package. So you have DIY, and then it's a DWM, done with me. And then the other one that we have is the services, which is the done for you. And these are the ones where you just don't have the time, but you have the money. You just want someone to go build a site for you. You want to create all the email marketing automations, do the social media, create the course content for you, any of the graphics, that kind of thing. We have a number of packages that are there. So my business is set up in that particular fashion where it's like do it yourself, do it with me or done for you. And we've got all sorts of great kind of material that in there that are free, paid with the done with you package and the services package. And if you are interested and you're looking at this and going, hey man, I want to do this, the paid one, let me just see, my mouse is, sorry, we'll just open up. The Campus Pass one, this is the one for the paid one. It's actually Black Friday when they do so, and I don't think, hey, I haven't changed it yet, so it's still here. So free pass is just to join the community. I have a monthly thing, and I actually did a yearly one right now for $500 off for Black Friday. I haven't changed it yet. So when I'm doing this, you can certainly go, and it's $500 for the year, and you'll be able to join in all of those live workshops and get started while we're building this one out. What do we got here? I think you're right on the money as far as importance of engagement over subscribers, all about building communities. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. And I think, you know, you'll see it in I did a whole bunch of other videos on the platform to pick when you're doing all of this. And I'll just look at it briefly because it is an interesting kind of story that's there with platforms and how that fits in. And let me open up the one here, Campus Blueprint. Yeah, so this fifth one here, 4th and 5, the green ones that I was talking about, this is all about the platform that supports the business model. And there's a lot of different platforms that are available right now, and some of them are ones, they're softwares as a service. And you may hear ones, for example, like School is a real popular one right now. There's Circle.so, there's Heartbeat.chat, which I have some clients on, which is another software as a service. They are making it very easy to create communities, and they're trying to add robust, and even Kajabi is another one that's kind of a little more upscale because it's a whole business thing to replace your website. But they're using communities as a way to get people in for free into some of the courses. And that's what School's pushing right now, is like free community, then sell paid courses. But that whole space, I think, and the amount of information and AI-generated content that's created, your ability to curate it and build out the community and then upsell or up-guide people through that, is where things are going to be happening for the foreseeable future. And I think it's even going to get more and more like that, kind of in a distributed way, where you're going to, you know, your business is about building your audience. That's what your business is about. It's your TV station. It's people coming back on a regular basis to check out your stuff, to ask you questions because they know, like, and trust you at this point, and they don't have time to go and know, like, and trust 1,000 people. And I think as the subscriber to your business, the member of your business, the audience member, the raving fan, the student, that growing with them is in a captive audience, for lack of a better word, where you can share your experience. There's some real value there. So I've been going, 55 minutes. I think what I'll do is I'll bring it in for a landing. Come and join trainingsites.io. In the background, I've just switched all of this from LearnDash and BuddyBoss. So not all the courses are over yet. And some of the courses I'm not even going to bring over, I think, because they're going to be updated with AI kind of versions of it. And then some of the courses are actually old. I'm going to show you one kind of funny thing just because I can. And I feel like doing it because it's pretty funny. I had, if you're young enough, you may have heard, I'll open it up. If you're ever wondering what happens or what old courses look like or how they kind of got started, if you ever want to have some fun, go to, do a search for the Wayback Machine. And what you're going to get is you're going to see a website, and it has images of all of the old courses and or materials that were available. So one of the things that I have is, I think it's, I don't know if I had this name. Yeah, okay. So in 2003, I, in 2003, this is Wayback Machine. It's an archive of pages. This was one of my courses from 2003, so 21 years ago. This was one of the first courses that I did, and it was about taking traditional sales processes and applying them for face-to-face selling, so people understood kind of what was going on. So this one, 2003, if we go take a look there, and let me see when one was done. There's one done July of 2003. So I'll open it up, take a look at that particular one, and you can see what a website kind of looked like at that point. So this was the actual website. This is a sales page, right? So 2003, there's the sales page that kind of going through here. Click to learn more to order. That was a sales page at the time, and that was my very first capture of it. I'll show you kind of how it changes over time. So let's say we go to 2010. And there's a reason for me showing you this, so just hang tight.
Hey John, I just want to call and congratulate you on this.
There we go. So there's one that was there, another kind of updated one as we got going. But the reason I'm showing this to you is because if we take a look now at the Training Sites site, and let's do this one up, I'll go back to members and courses just so you see it. And you're going to see that we actually have, from 2003, I have the actual speed selling course that I'm just putting in. So some of the courses I do have as ones that were old ones I brought over, but some of them didn't necessarily apply. And this is how I got into that whole customer journey part. Is this course right now, I'm going to keep it free for next way, but I am going to sell it. I'm going to put this to a sold one. But this was one actually that was a course that was done in 2003. And this was where I was doing, these were live recorded sessions in 2003. And I started off on Real Player, which is a whole other story that was here. But these courses are ones where it was capturing live content, putting it into organizing it in some kind of process, or having it for adding some value. And this is that whole space of, creating or having content that applies to the transformation. This whole course is about helping people or understanding how people get motivated to buy things from you. So it still applies today. It's an evergreen topic. So I got off on a tangent there, just kind of a blast from the past when I was looking on that. 2003, that course has been around for a long time, and I just put it in yesterday. So we're moving them as quickly as we can. Some of them I won't move. I'm going to do and actually replace them, and that was the one as an example on my workflow for creating online courses. That needs to be replaced because all of the tools and stuff are the ones that need to get created. So I'm going to leave it there for now. I don't have any other questions, but I hope you enjoyed this. We do these every Wednesday. You're welcome to do that. Come and join me. If you want to go in and become one of the campus builders and get working on any of these live workshops that we do, or be involved in any of the discussions that are specific to you, any of the live full courses that we have, Campus Blueprinters course, that kind of thing, and have access to stuff about creating your content, building out your site or your campus, and then marketing all of it. This is for the campus builders. I'd love to help you. If you do join, I do have a whole bunch of videos basically introducing you to the site. You'll get some emails at the start, but there's a place for you to talk general discussions, tools and resources, any events and announcements and stuff that you're doing, you're welcome to put in there. My name is James. Oh, let me see one more question. Which mind mapping software would you recommend for a beginner non-tech user? Excellent question, and I will answer that one quickly before I end things off. I have two that I use that I like, and they both have free versions. So, and I'll put the direct links to these below. If you use my direct links, below. I get a little bit of an affiliate commission, which would be great. But the one that I use the majority of the time is one called xmind.net. And that particular one has, well, they've got a free version right now, but this is a free version, and this is the one that I use to create the mind maps. And the reason that I like this one is because it's really, really simple to use. The one thing that it does that I liked it for especially is when you output it as a PDF, and this is how I originally did my courses. So let me just do one, I'll just show you what I mean and why it's important. Let's say, for example, we're working on this particular course here, and I have my morning routine. One of the things you can do when you're doing mind maps is you can add or insert a URL or a link to a web page. So what I can do is I can say go to I can put a URL that's there, right? And I put the wrong training sites. Oh, let's do this. We'll just do that one. I think I spelled it correctly. So if you have links in your mind map that are external, what you can do is when you're working on that mind map, you can just go and do a file, export, and one of the options that you have is a PDF. And I think this, I'm not sure if this is in the paid version, but I'm just showing you why I do this particular one. So I'm going to export that, and it's going to save the file. And we'll keep it here because it's in the right place. I'm going to save it. And when that one gets saved, I'll bring it over. Here's the part that's kind of cool with it when you're working with mind maps, is that I'm here, and you'll notice now up on the red mark, see there's the first one, morning routines. You'll see there's a link here. So this is a PDF, and I've exported the PDF, but what it also does is it allows you to put links directly in your PDF out to websites. And the reason I like this specifically is because you can now use the mind map that you've exported as a PDF as an additional resource to the courses that you're creating. So that one's really cool. I like that one. That one's called mindmap.net, and it'll actually, I think, believe you to this one. They have a couple versions, and I'm not 100% sure on it as well. The other thing I'll show you on this, just because I'm on it, is when you're using it, and I've used this on a couple times, is they have another thing over here. Make sure it's open. This one's called pitch mode, and it will actually create a live pitch. And let me just see if we're on the, yeah. So for this one, for example, I have two monitors. I've opened up another monitor, and I can basically do my mind map as a pitch and talk about the exact stuff that was in the mind map is there. It's now in a pitch. And in fact, I can actually go and start it over, but I can also change the way that it actually looks. So here's one that I quite like here. And this one is, we'll go back to the start. Keeping Up with YouTube is the name of this one. And now you're in a position where you can actually go and go through the pitch or pitch deck using that. So that one's kind of cool, xmind.net. The only one, not the only one, the other one that I use on a regular basis, and this is another one to look at, this one is called, there we go, not Ecamm, sorry, that's the software, there it is. This one is one that I like as well for one specific reason, and I'll show it to you. But there's one from Wondershare, and I think if you go to Wondershare, the website, yeah, Wondershare comes up. Wondershare has a whole kind of suite of kind of products. I find their marketing a little bit aggressive, but hey, it is what it is. It's easy to use as well, very similar to Xmind, but the one thing that it does that I like, they have a Filmora. They bought Filmora. It's the same guys that do that one. But the one that they have is called eDraw Mind, and they bought another version of a mind map software. I just can't remember which one that it is. But the only not the only reason, the big reason that I like these ones is because, let me see if I can get one where they have a screen. Price map. Yeah, the one that they have that I really, really like, and they don't show it here. Let me see if I can bring another one over just quickly because I have it open. Oh, I closed it. The only other reason that I like that one called eDraw is because it has one where it has, basically it allows you to do like a mind map that has, I forget what, it's like a S or progress one. So they have one of the other templates. It kind of basically allows you to show processes a little better than steps. And that, I use that one sometimes. I just don't have it open. I don't want to open it right now. But that one, if you need something that's there, it does that one very well. But Xmind is the one that I like. I've been using it for years, quite like that one. And you can certainly go check out the free version. And I think what I'll do is, based on your question, what would be a good thing for me to do? Yeah, absolutely. I'll go do a course on how to use mind map for courses. That would probably be a good idea. If that's something that you'd like, just put a yes in the chat or put a note below and say, hey, let's do that. Xmind, yeah. So anything else going on here? Don't think so. So let's bring it in for a landing. My name is James. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to end it here. Again, I'll put some additional notes in the bottom. If you want to get access to the content, the additional material that's there, I'll make sure to do that. So take care. Expect the best. I think I might do another video this afternoon. If not, it will be in the morning tomorrow. And I'm going to go through just one of the pieces that we talked about. So I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, and we'll be back later today or tomorrow.